Esther 5:7. Vata'an Esther vatomar, she'alati uvakashati. So short verse today, which might give us a chance to look at some morphological elements. We get here Esther as the subject, and then we have vata'an, the call imperfect third feminine singular of the root ana, to answer. And so we get an Esther answered and she said. So this and she said becomes kind of redundant. It's another call imperfect third feminine singular. Notice the tav preformatives on each of these. And it gets a little bit redundant, and she answered and said, but that's very common in Hebrew narratives. So we like that, or at least I do. Go back and look at some of the morphology here. Notice the verbal root is ana, and third hay verbs with a vav consecutive very often will drop that third hay, which becomes an apocopated form, or what I call a shortened form. So notice we don't add anything up here. Notice also that the one guttural, this guttural ayin in the first root letter position, forces the preformative to a's. So normally we would have an I preformative in the call. You might think yiktol, tiktol, tiktali, if you go through the paradigm. But here we get a's because of that influence of the guttural. Those gutturals prefer ah sounds, ah, ah, ah. And when we get that apocopated form, we get this vata'an. And notice the accent is up here on the preformative letter. So, and Esther answered and she said, and then we would get something like we have to supply this is, because all we really get here is my request and my request. Again, these are synonyms, my request and my bidding, or what I want, these sorts of things. And so if we supply the this is to it to get a full sentence, then we would say this is my request and my bidding. And so if, a couple morphology pieces here, you might notice that both of these words get a tav added in here. So both of these are going to be feminine singular words, she'la and bakasha. And then when we add the suffixes here, the 1cs suffix, in each of these cases, you drop that hey and you get the tav added in. So we've seen these words before, but haven't had a chance to look at that morphology. So there it is. Esther answered and said, this is my request and my bidding.